We are back for another year of football. The Saints start the era of Derek Carr. LSU is loaded and should be tuned up under second-year coach Brian Kelly. Nicholls State is looking to get back on top with Coach Tim Rebow at the helm. The high school teams are eager and ready. Our crew is also back. Our very own Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert. Well, he's offering in-depth analysis and game strategies. Former All-Pro Rich Maudy brings his candid talk back for another year. Mike Detillier will offer his great insight to the sports world each and every week. Harry McCullough will showcase a special guest of the week. Our high school expert Stan Gravois. He'll be on hand to discuss high school football standings. Chuck Bork takes over the question of the day this year as he puts his stellar law practice on hold for just 5 minutes. And our weekly Stay to Play raffle will reward a lucky winner. This year, our naming sponsors will be part of the show. Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. Some perennial corporate sponsors are also on hand. South Louisiana Bank is better when we bank together. Terrebonne General Health System, Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Terrebonne Churches United Food Bank. And from Lafourche Parish, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Now, from the Eugene and Lorraine Falls studios in Houma, Louisiana, buckle up your chin straps. It's time for Sports on the Bayou.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Sports on the Bayou. Mike Detillier along with the Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert, Rich Maudy. Got a lot to talk about. We'll be right back with all that talk here on Sports on the Bayou HTV.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. And St. Martin and Bork, attorneys at law. Know your rights. When we come back, Saints Talk. You won't want to miss this. Don't go away.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our Alford team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
At South Louisiana Bank, we're great at banking, but we're great at a lot of other stuff too.
Is that a new rod and reel?
Hey, a girl's got a fish.
We care about the community we live in and the people we serve. We're not just like you. We are you.
Are you boiling crawfish?
No, just letting them soak.
We're proud to be here and work for the place and the people we love. South Louisiana Bank. It's in the name.
Sports on the Bayou is also brought to you by our corporate sponsors. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Terrebonne Churches United Food Bank. And from Lafourche Parish, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Guys, in one of those I be damn moments, the Saints had them by the teriyaki, 17-0 lead going into the fourth quarter and end up losing the game 18-17.
Well, Mike, before Rich, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go ahead of you here. I just gotta say this one thing. You know how that's why it's shady or shaky if you bet. You know, you want to bet, you think, I think I know how I feel on this game, what's gonna happen. Mike, if you would have said, or Rich, okay, if somebody tells you before the game, the Saints are going to be +1 in the turnover margin, and they're going to have a punt return. You're going to have a pick six, a scoop and score, or a punt return for a touchdown. What was the other trifecta, Mike? What was the other thing? It was like three things.
They gave out free hot dogs to them.
That was they didn't give up. It's like 3.6 yards of rush.
No, but it's not that. It's something that is obvious.
I know it's turnovers, punt returns, and have a 17-0 lead going into the fourth quarter.
17-point lead with 12 minutes left. If you'd have told you, okay, you got to bet your house now, right, and it's paid off, so you don't have a mortgage, and all that, you'd have said, oh yeah, hell yeah, the Saints are winning. Come on, and if you didn't know that, look at the crystal ball, and it didn't happen. It just goes to show you.
You were involved in a game, not this way, but it had some similarities when
in 1989.
Did you win that game, 89? I was watching.
Oh, hell no, you didn't win that game.
No, we didn't win. I thought for sure we were going to win. I felt so good about myself. I mean,
I can't. Look, Bobby, well, I've been in 18 games like that, so we were ahead and lost.
We were winning at Lambeau Field. Now, I always said, man, this is like the NFL Mecca. You know, you want to go to the promised land. Lambeau Field, all the history there. I mean, I wore 15 at Salafush because of Bart Starr. My dad, he would go to the Saints games, but he loved the Packers because of Jimmy Taylor, the whole LSU connection. So all of a sudden, we're winning 24-7 at half. Man, I'm rolling. I'm feeling good. That game, I ended up throwing 3 touchdown passes, threw for 280-some yards. We lost like 38-34 or something. And at the end of the game, I said, how in the hell we lost this game? I never forget that. Remember, this is before Brett Favre. Remember Magic Man, Don Mikowski? Oh, yeah. He completed like 13 passes in a row. That's when Ricky Jackson got in the bad car wreck and he broke his cheekbone, so he wasn't available. So it wasn't no damn Dome Patrol. We scored 30-some points. I was like, hell, we never going to lose. But we lost that game, and it was at damn Lambeau Field. Now, when you look at it, we played... Now, Milwaukee County Stadium, Lambeau Field, we've played 14 times. In Green Bay, we've only won 3. And I'm telling you, it's not like we get off to slow starts. No, we're doing great. We have a great game plan. Somehow, with the Packers fans cheering for anything.
They booed them off the field at halftime.
They were
rightly so.
They were booing them. They wasn't doing anything. But you got to give Jordan Love credit. As much as he laid an egg against Atlanta in the fourth quarter, look what he did in the fourth quarter. And look, we got to, you know who didn't show up for us? And we need him to show up every game. Now you get older, Mario Davis and Cam Jordan. Do you know Cam Jordan didn't even have a stat in the game? Not no quarterback hurry, sack, tackle, or nothing. You didn't even talk about him. Mario Davis, major plays, 4th down. Remember the 4th down? And Jordan Love juked him and scored. I don't know. I was like, God, listen, I think I was so disheartened that I think if Grupa even makes the field goal.
I'm not sure they stop them.
Right. I think there's a lot of time left. I think they're going to come back down and kick a field goal and beat us. So that's why I don't necessarily blame Grupa on that kick.
We're going to go to the highlights of the Saints' 18-17 loss. Early on, Derek Carr, and he hits Jimmy Graham. Red zone. We finally got him the ball.
Back.
Jordan Love back to pass, got some heat, and he goes down. Alontae Taylor, who I think for the most part
like
really
an Aaron
played
Brooks
well.
Pass. Let me just throw it over.
And then Derek throws out. What a great catch. Well, Chris Olave sets it up. Now it's 17-0 here. Jordan Love just throws this one up, and it gets intercepted.
Lonnie Johnson Jr.
Lonnie, who
experienced veteran.
Now getting a lot of experience now without Marcus May. And then Jordan throws this one up again. And look at this.
Very good.
And it was interference also on that. Now, I'm not sure about the interference part, but the Saints stopped them. They had to settle for a field goal, 17-3.
See right here, look, DeMario Davis getting juked. Boy, if he makes that play, he's a hero. Either the hero or the GOAT. That's just the way it goes.
And then they go for 2 points here, which I thought was the move to make. He gets flushed out, throws it downfield, 2-point conversion. So now you sort of know what you need to take the lead. And all these interference calls late. Now, again, the offense is always going to get the benefit of the doubt there.
Well, it's a difference. You look at explosive plays or chunk plays, explosive penalties. Look at them, and all of a sudden they like the matchups, and they think they're going to get in their favor their penalty call their way.
And the life of a kicker. Groupie had not missed a kick in the regular season, and bang, misses
That's
one
his
right
first
there.
pressure kick, though.
Yeah,
really,
and one of the things he talked about, hey, don't blame anybody but me. The snap was right, hole was right, it was me.
He's a good kicker. I mean, again, the first pressure kick to win a game, potentially, right?
Well, you can't miss 2 or 3 of those. That was the difference. See those kind of kicks right there? You know who made that all the time?
Morton Anderson.
Yes.
Buddy Morton.
I'm telling you, that's how
Is he still alive?
He
is.
But that's how you kick a long time. That's how all of a sudden you have an NFL lifestyle for like 12, 13, 14 seasons. Those kind of kicks you got to make.
I gotta say something. I don't get emotionally involved in the game.
But you were this Sunday, right?
I was so pissed off because there was no reason for them to lose that game. And I've said this in the past, and maybe they do this, and I don't know about it. There should be someone in the stands that's totally disconnected with the sidelines for the Saints that's watching the momentum swings, that feels it. Because on the sidelines, you're involved in everything.
You could feel it.
You know, what's his name the head coach can't figure it out. He's all involved. And sitting back, because we're at home saying, the momentum's swinging right now. We got to do something different to shock this. We need a shock, like pool. You know, you have a pool at home, you put in a chlorine, you shock it.
Yeah, because it's turning all green.
Because it's turning, and then we do nothing. And I hate questioning the coaches' calls and what they do. I don't know enough. I don't want to question it, but
you can.
There's some, you know what? You got to eat up some time. You got to speed the game.
Rich, they don't run the ball.
They didn't run it at all. And they put in a
9 times.
cold backup quarterback, and he did fine. But they just didn't eat up any time, so they just opened the door for him.
Do y'all think that Alvin Kamara coming back all of a sudden, running game problems?
They got to have offensive line.
They got a freaking
line
block
stinks.
for him.
Their line stinks.
That's why I'm telling you right now that what Alvin Kamara told Mike this, total yards in scrimmage, he has to have at least 120 yards going forward. Pass receiving, running back, or running. He's not going to run for that amount, but if he can get at that level, not 150, about 120, then I think he's doing his job. As we go into the break, this is the thing. The offense has scored just 4 touchdowns through the first 3 games this season. Now think about that. We scored 4 touchdowns through the first 3 games this season and has scored 3 touchdowns in a game just once over the past 9 games.
When we come back, who's in the crowd?
Here in South Louisiana, we know how important it is to protect our families.
When one of our neighbors is injured because of someone else's neglect, our team is compelled to use our experience, skills, and knowledge to seek justice and hold wrongdoers accountable. If you've been injured and want to know your rights, call St. Martin and Bourke today.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Alford & Associates for all of your insurance needs. And by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Martin, I'll throw it to you.
All right. Hey, Bobby. Joni doesn't like my jacket.
Joni, where's Joni?
Joni's out in the lobby.
Let's do a vote. Let's do a Democratic vote. Who likes his jacket?
Joni,
come in here.
Raise your hand if you
Joni,
like
come in
Martin's
here.
jacket.
Mark.
Yeah, everybody likes my jacket.
They're not the only one, Martin.
I think that jacket is awesome. But makes it is that little handkerchief. What do you call that when you put it?
Handkerchief?
Martin, you have an upset stomach. When did you throw up?
That's what Joni said.
Yeah, it looks like this.
I
haven't thrown up in a while, but it looks familiar.
Cohen, you shop at the same place as I do. You got a jacket this color?
I do not.
That's because Martin got the last one.
Wait,
it was a closeout.
No.
Stand up. You do now.
You do now.
All right, let's give it up for naming sponsor. We got Rouse's in the house. All right. Y'all give them a big hand. We have Alford and Associates up front. And Erica's going to be a guest. When? Next week, Erica? Or week after? She's going to let us know. St. Martin and Bork, give them a round of applause. All right, now we're going to just peruse the tables here because we got a lot of people here. But Bobby, as you are looking out in the crowd, y'all just keep moving them until production. Just keep moving the cameras. Let's just look at faces. Okay. We have 3 former quarterbacks from South Lafourche in the house today.
Well, that is also.
We have Bubba Orgeron, the superintendent of Terrebonne Parish Schools. We have Boogie LeBlanc, who was right ahead of you, Bobby.
No, who was better than me.
And we have Bobby Hebert. You know what they all have in common? They all start with a B. Think about it.
Hey, that is the great. That's a Hollywood name. Now think about like a Cajun or French thing. Anybody? People thought I was making this up. Who's named Boogie LeBlanc?
Like, somebody from South Lafourche.
It sounds like a French quarterback, a Cajun quarterback.
Yeah, but no, Boogie was a good athlete. Bobby, we'll get you. Harry's going to interview him for his segment. He's going to have Bubba and Boogie on for his segment. So now, Bobby, here's the challenge.
Okay.
When they're talking about you, you can't chime in. You got to let us get the backstory, all right? That's going to be the hardest thing you've ever had to do.
All I know is I was a late bloomer.
You still haven't bloomed. You don't have any hair.
Boogie,
yeah.
Bubba, y'all going to have free reign on the microphone when we have it, all right? Boogie, please hold nothing back for us, all right? We want to hear the backstory. Because you were a year ahead of Bobby, right? All right, and Bobby, you played safety when he was quarterback.
Yeah, we should have beat St. Aug in the Superdome.
All right,
I never forget that. We were ahead on first downs, and then they beat Ted Gaspard in a wheel route.
As we go to a break, would all law enforcement, fire personnel, first responders, please stand up. We need to give y'all a big applause. Please stand up. Thank y'all so much for what y'all do. We appreciate it. We enjoy having y'all on Sports on the Bayou. We're going to be right back. Don't go away. Right after the break, LSU talk. Whoa, stick around. It's getting good.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
Here in South Louisiana, we know how important it is to protect our families.
When one of our neighbors is injured because of someone else's neglect, our team is compelled to use our experience, skills, and knowledge to seek justice and hold wrongdoers accountable. If you've been injured and want to know your rights, call St. Martin and Bork today.
Barker Honda. It's better at Barker. New Accord. Sleeker style, more performance. All new, bigger HRV. It's hot. All new Pilot. Honda's most rugged SUV ever. Civic, CR-V, Passport, Odyssey. And with every new Honda purchase, the Honda Service Pass provides 2 years, 24,000 miles prepaid maintenance. Barker Honda in Houma. It's better at Barker.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And St. Martin and Bork attorneys at law. Know your rights. Now, back with more Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou, guys. LSU, close shave, 34-31 over Arkansas. Defensively, LSU's secondary is as bad as the Saints' offensive line. I mean, they look lost. They get turned around, and I will give them credit. I thought he was hurt against BYU, KJ Jefferson. He didn't look the same. Sam Pittman sort of alluded to that Friday that, listen, he's kind of not quite 100%, but he's well now. So Charlie and I doing this show Thursday, and we hear that. I said, Charlie, LSU's in trouble now. KJ Jefferson, he can throw the football. You think about all those false starts, all those movement penalties
on the Arkansas line. Yeah.
His poise and his ability to handle that was great, but LSU's still trying to cover that freshman tight end. Well, it was open every play.
Well, the one bet that I would have made, and I told a number of my friends, I said, there's no way I would take Arkansas on the 17.5 points. Because you look at trends, you know, the last 4 straight games now, it's been a 3-point decision. 4 straight games. So I don't care if they're playing at Thanksgiving, on Friday, wherever they're playing. Now they're playing in September. Arkansas brings it against LSU. I'm not saying they're going to win, but it's a dogfight. And you look at that 3-point decision, that's how I was saying, 17.5 points, that's a lot of points. So that's why I thought LSU would win. Now it's down to the wire, but I would definitely would have taken Arkansas in the 17.5.
After a slow start, Jaden Daniels heated up, and it was the battle between the two quarterbacks in the second half.
But they got to start out the game. I mean, something's not clicking yet. They're just not all in the same. It's still early in the season, but you really want to. I mean, they have so much talent.
Well, it's
areas, right?
Well, it's going to be interesting, Rich. Looking right now, LSU's has had 2 worrisome defensive performances, to say the least. We look at Florida State, you look at Arkansas. Come on, shame on the defense. You're averaging 43 points a game, Mike. You should not lose. I mean, when I'm looking at that now, you got Ole Miss. What is 2.5 points? I don't know. Flip a coin on that one.
And Ole Miss got really beat up in that Alabama
Run the
game.
ball.
In the second half, you saw Alabama was like, man, the heck with this, throwing it. We just going to line up, and I dare you to stop it.
Go back to the basics.
Ole Miss couldn't stop it.
Couldn't stop it, and then Missouri's undefeated. I think they kind of overrated. But what game can you look in your crystal ball if LSU's not favored or they got a great chance to win? To me, LSU should run the table. It's not like Alabama, invincible. There's nobody right now. We've all talked about this. The SEC is about as down as I've seen it. You know, from a national perspective. Now, Georgia, even the Georgia's not the Georgia Bowl.
But has Georgia been tested by anybody?
No. The one thing we have, I'm telling you, why you got to have hope, is Jaden Daniels. We got the quarterback advantage over every SEC team right now.
That I agree.
I agree. Maybe in the country.
Yeah.
And that Malik Neighbors now is rolling so much coverage. Now, Brian Thomas, he's wide open. We're going to go to the highlights of LSU Arkansas right off the bat. KJ Jefferson spots him out in the corner, and Luke Haas comes up with the catch.
Well, that was good defense to keep him out the end zone there. Boy, you thought for sure he was going to score. But we got to get off to a better start in the first half.
LSU's defense sort of bent early, but then they broke. And then Josh Williams, 41 yards, and gets hit out of bounds, so you get an extra 15.
The horse collar, yep.
So it's 6-3, and then pow, KJ Jefferson on a nice pass where it was pass interference. He hits the receiver. Then late, Jaden Daniels throws it downfield, and Brian Thomas comes up with the catch.
Well, we're losing 13-3 right here, but Jaden Daniels keeping his poise, and that was big for us right before the half to get this score, obviously.
And Brian's now going to see a lot of single coverage because of Malik Neighbors. But KJ Jefferson back to pass, and he just gets run over by Harold Perkins. Come on, you got to use him outside. This stuff of trying to make him an inside linebacker.
No, we need him to influence the opposing quarterback.
Then Jaden back to pass. It's underthrown, but he comes back and make the catch.
That was a crazy play.
And Brian goes in for the score. And that's the best game Brian Thomas has played at LSU, because he's had a tendency to sort of drop some of those throws. And Jaden right over the middle, Malik Neighbors. Man, how you let him get that free?
24-16. I thought the game was well in hand, but not so fast.
But his ability to escape pressure and throws a dart downfield.
Okay,
who's governing Luke?
It's like it's about a mental fart. I mean, busted. Who's guarding who? Come on.
Then Jaden throws it downfield. Pow. Malik Neighbors again in the corner of the end zone.
Perfect pass.
And that's just tremendous. But again, the coverage
Who's guarding
breakdown.
him? Come on.
Luke gets open again.
That's high school open. Come on.
And he's a freshman, so he's just out of high school. And then Ramos comes in, the game winner with 5 seconds left to make it 34-31.
But you know who's been the most consistent? You look at special teams. It's still shaky, but the damn kicker.
And
Rainbows.
listen, I gotta admit,
I like our kicker.
I admit I was a little shaky with Rainbows.
Well, Mike, you gotta like him now.
I like him now.
He's been clutch.
But before the season, I wasn't quite so sure about that.
Your last kick now.
Yeah,
Bobby.
but in all other phases, no, I'm still.
Man, that punt return.
Yeah. Hey, it's like, no, the kicker, he's doing his job. Now, if he'd have missed that kick, like, man, we need a new kicker.
You know, one of the things, too, is what was supposed to be a strength, their defensive line. They have not been able to get consistent pressure. You saw in a couple of those plays, KJ got away from pressure, but a lot of times he's just sitting back there and he's looking around.
Make a sandwich.
And, man, that coverage isn't good, but they aren't getting consistent pressure from Mason. Now, Mekhi Wingo's a different story. They double-teaming him on every play. The guy that's really come through for him, I think, is Jordan Jefferson. I'm not talking about the quarterback from Destrehan, but the transfer guy from West Virginia has really played well, and I think you're going to see a lot more of Deshaun Womack, the true freshman. They got to learn how to keep his helmet on. I don't know why after every big play you got to take his helmet off.
Not that good
You got to keep your helmet on. You got to chin strap it.
See his face.
If he was a Hollywood guy, it would be okay.
Well, the whole thing, Mike, with the D-line, though, listen,
nose.
Hey, you got to produce. They're going to have a rotation. They want to keep you fresh. And when you get your snaps, so what do you do with those snaps?
Jordan Jefferson has outplayed Mason.
No,
this season. Listen, I'm a big Mason Smith fan now.
You as agent.
I don't know about agent.
Right here from Terrebonne and Houma. Somebody needs to light a fire on the Mason right now. Because, hey, it's all about production. They look at the film, they break it down, and then if somebody behind you warrants more snaps, then you got to give it to them. It's a production business.
So whatever you got to do, you got to find a way to get Harold Perkins and Womack coming off the edge. And I'm going to tell you one thing with Jackson Dart, and he showed it in this game. My buddy Joe Clark would say he's a bolter. Just like a horse, you go out in the field. Some horses, they'll come to you, feed them, they're fine. Some of them, they see you, they take off running. Jackson Dart is a guy, he looks at one guy.
And then he wants to take off.
Then he wants to take off running with the ball.
That sounds like Nancy, my wife, when I get close to takes off running. It's too familiar.
That's it. I'm done with Rich. I'm taking off.
Yeah, that's it. We'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Don't go away. Harry McCullough coming up shortly with his sports feature of the week.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our Alford team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Alford & Associates. For all of your insurance needs, Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. And St. Martin & Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Now, back to more Sports on the Bayou.
Back here on Sports on the Bayou, the Hall of Famer, H, you got it, brother.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it, man. I tell you, back in the day when just kids from Houma, even just going down to Galliano seemed like a long trip. We didn't travel around all that much, so.
Well, you had to cross the Intercoastal Canal.
You got confused once you
go that way, it's the Burglar Highway. You come this way, it's the Houma shortcut. There's a lot of difference between those two areas. But as a kid, I remember main thing was the names. It was like Boogie was playing shortstop and Bobby J was playing first and Bebe was off doing something. And it was
pitching.
I just didn't know that the B's were the way to go. So, of course, quarterbacking at Sal Lafouche. The first one was Boogie LeBlanc. The next one was Bobby J. Hebert, and then Bubba Ogeron. So we got three quarterbacks in the house. So let's start with the first one. So is it a deal? You got to be a B now? We got Carson Ogeron, who's the quarterback this year. So I don't know if they're going to win the state championship. But he got Ogeron out of the deal. But anyway, tell me about South Lafourche in football at that time?
Oh, South Lafourche at the time had a great coaching staff, the Ralph Perrys of the world, the Bourgeois, Earl Bourgeois, Charlie Como. And I think we just had a bunch of hogs on the front line that it was 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And then and it was 4th and 1 and they finished, 3rd and 1 and they finished it off. And when the defense came up to stop the run, then I was able to throw a lame duck to guys like John Chasson, Jake Guidry, and Buddy Miller. And it made it easy for me with those guys up front and the coaching staff.
Yeah, Bobby always talks about it, Coach Perry talking about if we can't get 3 yards every play, we shouldn't be playing. So that was a big deal. Did y'all continue that? Was Perry still there when you played?
He was, yeah, he was. And we got a little more complicated. We ran the wishbone option. So we really mixed it up, right? But it was still same concept. Get 4 yards a pop, and we were good to go.
That's such a tradition down there, the Big Blue. And if you ever been down there on a Friday night to see the Blue show up like that, was it always that way, Boogie, or did it start with you guys and go into Bobby and them's class?
No, it started right when I guess the Golden Medal and Rose merger, and you had the coaching staff moved in those areas, and they had a good group, and the community just came out and supported Friday night football in that area, and to this day it still exists, and it was just a tradition that we have on the Bayou and Bayou Lafourche and other areas in South Louisiana. It's just a place to go and something to do.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Harry? I got to interrupt you. No. The whole thing with Boogie, I mean, I think who helped develop me, and you know who doesn't get enough recognition was his dad, Rene LeBlanc. Because Boogie and I, you know what? Listen, I like football, but I used to love basketball because you don't get beat up. I love to practice. Who doesn't like to practice basketball? If you can shoot and all that. Boogie was unbelievable. I mean, I always embraced basketball. Then I could play football, but basketball. But his dad was a mentor for me. Ralph Perry gets a lot of credit, but Rene LeBlanc, I'm telling you, and I guess we call you Boogie, but you Rene too, right? But nobody calls you Rene.
Rene Jr. Yeah.
Rene Jr. But that was his dad. Yeah. I mean, he was unbelievable being a mentor for a number of high school students.
Rene, tell me about Bobby and what was him as an underclassman. What was he like?
Well, Bobby was always fun to be around. We always had the joking and things like that. But when I played, I was a senior, and Bobby was second-string quarterback. But at the time, believe it or not, he was, I think, rose to about 5'7", 145 pounds, something like that. If it would have been a year later in age, then Bobby would have probably played ahead of me. But he was a late bloomer and did a good job when he came in. I remember as a senior, I had a knee injury, and Bobby came in against Stillwater High and probably threw for about 140, 150 yards, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I was pretty much afraid of my job, and thank God my dad was on the coaching staff. I would have been bind. But anyway, it was...
hey, but the one thing I remember, I thought we were better as juniors than seniors. We lost to St. Aug in the Superdome in the quarterfinals, and we were tied in first downs, like 6 first downs to 6 first downs. You know what I'm most proud of? And I remember this. My junior year, I had 8 interceptions as a free safety. And I intercepted Skippy Ezel twice. I don't know who Skippy.
I think you missed your calling, baby. You should have been a defensive player.
I remember. I remember stuff, and you don't remember. So I actually thought I was going to have a chance to play free safety. I remember going to Southeastern. My Uncle Vernon, my great uncle, was the president of Nicholls State University in the 70s. And the one reason why I did not go to Nicholls, you know what's crazy? He was on vacation in Egypt. I never forget, he was on vacation in Egypt.
Clemens.
He came back,
know that story.
And he calls my mom, is Bobby J ready to sign? No, this is a great story, don't throw the flag. Then all of a sudden, is he ready to sign with Nicholls? He goes, I don't know, he went up to Natchitoches and they treated him pretty good. He's going to Northwestern. And that's when Coach Clements and all that, and that Nicholls staff, and I came back against Nicholls State. Come on. I had a couple of games I ran for over 100 yards. I'm not a running quarterback. And that's when all of a sudden, that's when my great uncle Vernon Galliano said, okay, y'all fired, y'all all gone.
Hey, Martin,
ran them all off.
You need a bazooka to get this thing off. Those flags ain't going to cut it.
We appreciate it. We'll be right back with more Sports on the Bayou after that.
No, that's a great.
Right after a short break, Stan Gravois in his Prep Football Roundup.
Here in South Louisiana, we know how important it is to protect our families.
When one of our neighbors is injured because of someone else's neglect, our team is compelled to use our experience, skills, and knowledge to seek justice and hold wrongdoers accountable. If you've been injured and want to know your rights, call St. Martin and Bourke today.
Give where you live. The Terrebonne Church's United Food Bank.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Sports on the Bayou. It was week 4 of the high school football season. Lots of rival games, lots of districts started district play. Let's take a look back. In the Battle of the West Side, featuring two 2-1 teams, Terrebonne and H.L. Bourgeois, it was supposed to be a close one, but it didn't turn out that way. Terrebonne scored 28 first quarter points behind the strong running of Alvin Celestine, Jace Johnson, and Jace Walters, mixed in with a little bit of passing from Owen Oliver, as they had no problems cruising by H.L. Bourgeois in this one. The Tigers racked up over 600 yards of offense in this game. They win it easily, 62-13 over the Braves. It was homecoming in Galliano as South Lafourche got the early lead against South Terrebonne. This 4-yard run by Landon Meathead Dardar. Tarpon 7, Gators 0, but the Gators come right back. Jeray Ricks around the right side. The freshman gets it into the corner, 7-7 at this point. The Gators actually took a 10-7 lead, but Tarpon quarterback Carson Ogeron scores on this nice 6-yard run as the Tarpons recapture that lead. But South Terrebonne hangs around. This is a kick return by Logan Marcel. Gators right back in it. The Tarpons defense comes up big in this one. They intercept a late pass to seal the deal for South Lafourche. They hang on to win it, driving their record to 3-1 on the year, 1-0 in district. Final score 20-17. In other scores from around the area, E.D. White blasts 5A Woodlawn of Baton Rouge 57-7. Lutcher's defense just a little too good for Vanderbilt. Thibodeau finds out how good East St. John is. Franklin squeaks by Central Lafourche. Morgan City on a roll. They shut out Ellender. Destrehan, no problems with Hornville. Assumption sticks around with St. James, but the Wildcats pull away late. Central Catholic, an extra point better than CCA. And Riverside Academy has no worries with Houma Christian. A District 7 5A update shows that Destrehan and East St. John seems to be the teams to beat. Terrebonne hanging in there tough, and Central Lafourche still looking for their first win of the season. In District 7 4A, Morgan City and South Lafourche both lead the pack with 3 wins, but watch out for the middle. Lutcher, Vanderbilt, and Assumption are all going to have something to say about that district title. And this week, something's got to give. Ellender's playing South Terrebonne. Those two teams looking for their first win. In District 8 3A, no sense in beating around the bush. It's going to be a showdown between E.D. White and St. James that last week of the regular season. Berwick, Patterson, and Donaldsonville going to be on the outside looking in. In 9-2A, lots of 2-win teams. Houma Christian has their toughest part of the schedule out of the way. Look for them to make a run at that district title. And in District 7 1A, lots of teams can win it. We know Vermilion Catholic's good, but we're not quite sure how good Jeanerette and Hanson Memorial are. Covenant Christian going to find out. They play Hanson this week. Centerville making some noise, and never count out Central Catholic.
And we are happy to have with us representatives from Ellendon Memorial High School. First, I'll start with the head coach of their football team, John Haslett, and I'll work my way around the table after that. We're going to talk to John a little bit after we introduce everybody. Corey Atkins, defensive coordinator for Ellendon, is here with us. I had the pleasure of working with Corey. I noticed the gray coming in, Corey, so you get up there. But it was a terrific coach way back in the H.L. Bourgeois days with me. Summer Skarke is, boy, I'm going to get this wrong. Intervention, give me the rest. Instructional content later. They didn't have those when I was teaching in school, so I don't remember that. But Summer is an excellent teacher and had always won all kind of awards for her teaching ability. It's good. She had 3 kids playing football at South Terrebonne last year. So that was always a hard week for her. Don't have to worry about it this year as much. Keisha Wesley is in the guidance department there at Ellendon Memorial, and Brian Delahousse coaches both football and baseball. And I'll get back to, well, and listen, we can't go without, again, mentioning that the superintendent of schools, Bubba Ogeron's here, making sure that they're all good at the table as we do all of this. John, big week. It is a big rival matchup against South Terrebonne. Keys to winning that game?
We got to stop them on defense, and we got to move the ball on offense. That's the main thing.
Hey, there's no secrets with John, folks. No secrets with John. Hey, listen, real quick. We got about a minute left. You guys probably, and I would venture to say Bubba, got struck as hard as anybody in the parish related to the storm. Related to athletic facilities. Who's back on campus? Obviously, the gyms are not there, so how is that working?
After the storm, we were lucky enough to get a building at the Votech, which is right next door to us. So we have the football locker room there and the football coach's office along with the school's weight room right there. So football is practicing at Ellendon. It's like a little 5-minute walk back to the field. But baseball is getting some stuff done over there, so they're able to practice over there, hopefully have games there this season. But everybody else, volleyball, basketball, they're practicing at gyms, wherever they can get softballs practicing, wherever they can get a field at. So it's just rough not being able to do anything on campus.
That'll get better, I guess, as time goes by. Fortunately, no storms to this point this year in our area. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Sports on the Bayou.
Don't fall asleep when we come back from the break. Chuck Bork with his What's Up, Chuck segment.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products, which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
Terrebonne General Health System is the largest healthcare resource in Southeast Louisiana, offering a high-tech and high-touch style of healing. World-renowned services include cardiology, women's health, cancer care, and a healthy lifestyle center.
This is a true calling for all the physicians, nurses, and staff who make up our proud Terrebonne General family. We are here to provide healthcare for our community.
To discover more, please visit tghealthsystem.com.
Sports on the Bayou is also brought to you by our corporate sponsors. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Terrebonne General Health Systems and their Community Sports Institute. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Terrebonne Churches United Food Bank. And from Lafourche Parish, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. Now, back to Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. This would normally be with Chuck Bork in our What's Up Chuck segment, but it's What's Up Terry.
Big
Terry
team.
Brown.
Hey gang, what's up,
baby?
everybody? Hey, realistically, the Saints
should be 3-0 right now.
I agree.
And on top of the division.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Yeah.
With the situation at quarterback and losing the other day, do you think that they still have the opportunity to get in the playoffs down the road?
In this division, yes.
They got a great defense.
Hell yeah. No.
Look who the other two quarterbacks are. Okay, Bryce Young gets knocked out. And that's Andy Dalton. And I think Andy's going to start this week, most likely.
Andy Dalton played unbelievable in Seattle. People give me a hard time.
But their defense is horrible. And then Desmond Ridder, man, he got rocked around. They only rushed for 40 yards against Detroit. And okay, you got Baker Mayfield. I told Bobby, well, the bloom's off the rose with him. I could see he had a nice 2-game run, but that's about it. Everybody figured it out.
Atlanta celebrates when Desmond Ridder throws for 200 yards.
150 would be great for him.
Yeah. He didn't even throw over 100 last year. But you know, the one thing, we got to have hope. I don't care whether you like Jameis or not, but we need to hope Jameis Winston is like the second coming of Teddy Bridgewater. Or can he all of a sudden come in there and win 4 or 5 games? That's what we need, I'm telling you, because with his shoulder, if it's his left shoulder, they would shoot him up, and Derek Carr would play this Sunday. But you got to be able to throw.
Okay, you've been through that, so kind of give everybody an explanation.
Man, I got slammed in the Bears game, and I landed on my shoulder, and we were 6-0. And that's the year we won the NFC West 11-5, and we were 6-0, and I missed about a month, maybe 4 or 5 games, whatever. And then I came back, you know, and I'm recalling the Raiders game on Monday night, but I ended up finishing 9-1 that year. Now with Forcade and Steve Walsh, then they finish in like 2-3. So I don't know, can Jameis go 500? I'd say, you know, boy, what if he plays 4 or 5 games and we go 3-1? I think that'd be a win. Like Teddy Bridgewater, when he's on billboards and all that, I don't know if he'll be that. But the one thing with Jameis, he has won 6 of his 10 starts the past 2 years. So that's 60%. Might you rather be like 7 out of 10? So there's still hope with Jameis. Now we still have to take away the football and protect it and all. That's one thing. You know, don't have those turnovers that could cost you. But he should be. Listen, he should be so freaking motivated to play against his ex-team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let me tell you right now. You don't think players care about that? Saints fans don't get mad at me. When I was in Atlanta and Jim Finks, boy, I love nothing more. We came back and beat the Saints. Ooh, give them the business. And I started doing all this and that. Man, it ain't like I'm not the fans. It's like who's in charge. Hey, look at this. And all I know is, and I still brag about this, when I was with the Saints, we beat the Falcons. When I was with the Falcons, we beat the Saints. So, I mean, I don't know that I make a difference.
We're not bragging about this.
Hold on.
Hey, wait, we need a fact check. Who's doing a fact check?
No doubt about it.
Fact check.
But Mike knows. Mike knows.
You can fact check.
He's right.
No, you can fact check that. So that's why Jameis Winston needs to be motivated. I want to give the Bucs the business.
He's going to need help from the offensive line. I think Kamara's going to help him a little bit.
You're right, because this same offensive line that got Derek Carr knocked out, it may well get Jameis Winston knocked out.
He's got to get rid of that ball.
Got to get rid of the ball.
That's the key.
You got to get rid. You got to be the one that got to eat crow on. You know who was MVP? Was MVP last year. Then he got knocked out. Is Tua. Yeah. And I said, I don't think Tua's going to do anything. Look what Tua's doing right now. He's the MVP front runner.
Right.
Look at Sean Payton.
Comeback player of the year.
It shows you how humbling the NFL is. Look at Sean Payton. Oh, I've never been like so embarrassed in my life. What?
For Sean to say that?
They gave up 70 points.
He'll probably take your phone call now. I bet you he takes your phone call now.
Don't feel sorry for Sean. He got 70, 80 million guaranteed. What the? Don't worry about it.
Thank you, Terry. Appreciate it, bud. We'll be back with more sports on the Bayou.
Don't fall asleep now, because when we come back, I'll give away an award to someone who's in the audience on my Stay to Play segment.
Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
With over 26 years of experience, our Offered team is your solution for quality and proven coverage.
The customer service you remember from years ago is what we pride our team on.
We know how important your company is to the community.
From small businesses to large businesses, Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Cardiovascular Institute of the South is celebrating 40 years of delivering health care to our patients and communities. Founded by Dr. Craig Walker in 1983 and guided by a mission to provide the highest quality cardiovascular care available, CIS has pioneered hundreds of firsts to improve outcomes for cardiovascular diseases. Through new technology, virtual care, outpatient procedures, and national growth, CIS is improving lives and leading the way for advanced care and innovation.
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Alford & Associates. For all of your insurance needs, Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, and St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Now, back to more Sports on the Bayou.
Where was the dinner last?
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou. Martin, I'll throw it to you for our state of play.
All right, does everybody have their raffle ticket?
Yeah. Do you feel like a winner?
Before I pull, let me just tell you a little story about when you turn somebody down on TV, Cohen. I forgot all about it, but I had the prize that they was in the pocket of the coat.
Oh, yeah.
If you'd have kept the coat, you'd have had the prize.
Hey, Martin, if Joni gives you a hard time about the coat, like after this show today, I'll buy it from you. I like that coat. You and I about the same size.
Yeah, but he didn't tell you how much he was going to pay. That's the big issue.
$10 right now.
Well, you're lucky to get the 10 from him. Pull the 10 out and get it.
He said he was going to use it as a floor mat.
Hey, I'll give you 20. I like that
Let's
jacket.
see how you look at it.
I'll be the intermediary. See how much that 20 gets
for you,
there.
Bobby.
Get to 20. You need some change?
Martin and I's about the same size, let me tell you. I think this is...
It's a little tight for you, Bobby?
No, not too tight.
He can't button the front.
He can't get his hands in it.
Those buttons, but be careful in the front row. Those buttons are going to be like bullets.
He needs Velcro.
No,
he needs Velcro in the front.
Same size.
You know what? It looks as bad on you as
It looks brown against it. It looks brown against the green.
It looks ugly.
Wait, we got a minute 30 left.
I got this for $20. My grandma would be so proud of me.
Yeah, but wait, the handkerchief is 50.
No one else would.
Erica's going to pull around.
You know, the white hair kind of offsets the green throw-up color.
The big moment. You notice I always get somebody to pull it because I don't want to take the blame.
Drum roll.
All right, Erica, let's see who you're going to pick.
Remember Wipeout?
Okay, it's 595285. Is it on?
285.
Going once, going twice.
You got to be in it to win it. If you
in it to win it.
Do I just play it again?
285.
Right?
285.
Watching America.
I'm sorry, that first one's out the window.
Okay, we got
pulling
another chance. You got to speak
Not
up.
my
You
fault
got
y'all
the
can't
ticket.
read.
595210.
Oh,
All right. Ellington Memorial wins it.
got a winner. Got a winner.
Come on up, Coach. That's a $100 gift certificate to Lumiere's across the street. So you can bring 4 people to eat and get you a good meal.
Wait, you know what?
Cohen, you blew it, Cohen.
If you're really smart, you'll ask for the jacket to go to dinner. Just saying.
I can be like Monty Hall. You want to trade it in for the jacket? No, I'm just kidding. I love that jacket.
It's a good thing nobody else
We'll be back to fix it off here on Sports on the
I
Bayou.
wear this every week.
Coming up, a look at next week's game.
Here in South Louisiana, we know how important it is to protect our families.
When one of our neighbors is injured because of someone else's neglect, our team is compelled to use our experience, skills, and knowledge to seek justice and hold wrongdoers accountable. If you've been injured and want to know your rights, call St. Martin and Bourke today.
You gotta try this. And some of those. Ooh, and definitely that. You won't be disappointed. but just know you can only get it here. Up and down Louisiana's Cajun Bayou in Lafourche Parish. Y'all come visit? We're just 35 miles south of New Orleans. Hungry? Let's eat!
Sports on the Bayou is brought to you by Rouse's Markets, official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. And St. Martin and Bourke Attorneys at Law. Know your rights. Now, back with more Sports on the Bayou.
We're back here on Sports on the Bayou, guys. This week, Saints, Buccaneers. The Saints don't play a lot of early home games. Man, this one here, you got to take advantage. And the Saints have not been a good home team. They've been much better on the road than they have been at home. But you got to take care of business against a Tampa Bay team. Again, Baker Mayfield, he ain't lighting you up in this spot.
Well,
Can you protect Jameis? That's going to be the key. And they got 8 former either first or second round picks for the Bucs playing on defense.
They got a good defense. They were impressive last night, I think, in areas, but I think it's not going to be an easy game.
Well, listen, if you look at all the NFL games, I think I got this correct. I don't have the notes in front of me, but you know, out of all the NFL games, the Saints and Tampa Bay have the lowest over and under. It's like 40.5.
I would do that too.
But no, the Saints.
Seeing those offenses.
The Saints and Tampa Bay. So I think it's going to be. Listen, you can't go run errands in the fourth quarter. It's still going to come down to the wire. The Saints being a 2.5-point favorite.
No grass cutting, no weed eating.
No, nothing. I think it's like a field goal type game. I'm telling you, as a community, Who Dat Nation, we could develop an ulcer before the halfway point of the season. I'm telling you, it's going to be that stressful. I don't think the Saints kick the Bucs behind. I don't think vice versa. They don't whip us. I think it's going to go down to the wire again.
Quickly, LSU, Ole Miss. I think LSU takes care of business against Ole Miss. LSU's played one bad game, one good game. One bad game, one good game. That's what I mean. The erraticism on this team. So, you know what? They didn't play really well on defense at all. I think they bounced back and they beat Ole Miss.
It's like, 2.5-point favorite. I would give up the 2.5 points. I think LSU wins by about 10, something like that.
Erraticism?
Erraticism.
It's a 50-cent word.
That's it.
That's 50. It may be $1.
I've been studying on that. They use it just like the right
say that.
I got to go back to school.
Erraticism goes
Norm Crosby?
Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week with another version of Sports on the Bayou.
We'll see you next week on Sports on the Bayou.